Hello, this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride, and today I'm here with my good buddy Perhaps, because we're going to talk a little bit about the World Cup that just went on. People have asked me to make some comments about that, and I will do so. I really want to congratulate Charlotte Desjardins for doing so incredibly well again, and showing people that there is a way, that we can take a horse that's not the most spectacular mover, train it correctly, and get as far as she got. And the really great thing about this one was that she won by 10 points. So we're beginning to see a difference, unlike the Olympic Games, where once again she was the only horse that was really relaxed and fulfilling the requirements of the test, but the scores were only quarter points apart. So this time at least we were able to see a real difference in the scores, and people hopefully will begin to wake up and say what's happening here. However, the real problem is that I want to address to the FEI and the USDF is this whole issue of how high the scores have gotten. This is going to be the downfall of the sport if we don't bring this into hand. We're basically seeing horses that are hollow, doing nothing that looks anything like real dressage, that is horses working over their backs. It's looking more and more like saddlebreds. The horses at this game, at this particular event, were so hollow. I thought it was going to be getting better with Charlotte winning, but it actually seemed like all the rest of them are getting much worse. We're seeing the necks are shortened back like this. People talk about horses lifting their shoulders now. That's the big mystery. Well, what they're doing is they're bringing the neck back like this and pulling the neck back in so it's so tight that the shoulder gets pressed against the neck of the horse, so it flips its front end out. But once again, if you know anything about dressage, you know that the hind end must always come through to the same degree as the front end. So this is what we're seeing, all these horses that have this pretty little flip out in their front legs that people think is something, but if you'll notice when they do it, there's always a bit of shaking at the end of the leg. That's because the horse can't put its foot on the ground, because every time the horse extends more in front than it does in back, you're overflexing all of the tendons in those legs, which is why, of course, all these horses are being held together with so many injections and medications of every type. Right, Perhaps? Yes. So we'd really like to see, if a horse is not over its back, if you read the rule book and you're not fulfilling the requirements of the level, you should not be able to score higher than a 4. So here we're seeing horse after horse after horse, completely hollow, going like saddlebreds, not at all sufficient in their development, but yet doing these movements. Anybody who knows anything about dressage or even riding or have a sense of art should be able to look at these horses and see how completely out of sync their front and back legs are. Once again, watch Vallegro and look how easily he does everything and how much in sync the front and back legs are when they move. That is, they parallel, the diagonals always move. So even though a horse is collected, the horse is lowered behind, but it still brings the hind leg through, instead of what we're seeing here with his neck's pulled in and the horse shooting out the front legs. So once again, a big call out to the USDF, to the FEI. I ask everybody to write to all these organizations and begin to show, how you feel about the way they have let the sport decline into this just sort of silly spectacle like a saddlebred or something like this. Saddlebreds should have been outlawed long ago along with Tennessee walkers, but they let them stay in even though they know they do the exact same things. Well, we're beginning to see the same things happening in dressage. People pulling horses' legs to make them snap their legs up. All the same kind of horrors that I grew up around in Kentucky watching people with Tennessee walkers and saddlebreds. Fortunately, I had a father who railed against it from the time I was 5 years old, so I got an eye for that, happily. So anyway, once again, big shout out to Charlotte Desjardins. Congratulations. Congratulations to the judges for at least having enough courage to give her at least a difference in the scores by 10 points. So hopefully we'll begin to see that begin to make a difference overall. This is Will Faerber from Art to Ride. Have a great day.